I guess I'd call this Starship Enterprise version 3.0, 3.01.2.8, I don't know. Been a lot of work. Haven't been documenting a lot since the basement was wide open, but this is day one of the sprouts going into their rapid rooters. Obviously the water's off color because I added a little bit of liquid karma. It's about 70 parts per million off reverse osmosis. Have a 70-gallon reservoir underneath that's activated right now. It's running for 15 minutes every hour. I've also got an extra pump in there that's turned off, and when I'm mixing in new nutrients, I'll turn it on to circulate it in the reservoir. And probably, once or twice a day I'll just come down and turn it on for 4 or 5 minutes just to keep everything swirled up in suspension. But yeah, we're under 8 54-watt T5s right now. It's middle of winter, so it's a little bit cooler down here, but I have 2 heating ducts, so it's in the mid 70s in here, which is about perfect. 25 of 42 beans have sprouted. About half of those were fully sprouted within 24 hours. One of them was almost an inch within 24 hours. It was crazy. So got the rest of them. A couple of them have cracked, but they're just sitting on top of the lights here at about 80 degrees. So we got like roughly 15 more. We got, 39 Skywalker OGs and 3 Grand Doggy Perps. 2 of the Grand Doggy Perps have sprouted, so we're gonna play around with those. Really need to make a run to the dump because this is kind of the aftermath of a lot of construction. None of these false walls were here before. It's all the boxes from the Phantom double ends and the fans. Flower room. We got 12,000 watt Phantom DEs hanging. I'm gonna put Mylar. These are the blacked out windows. I'll put Mylar over those, that, and that window. There's my other 70-gallon reservoir. I need to couple that up, but here's all the drainage from the 2. There's 24 plant sites, 12 and 12. They're all jet fed like my old system by this reflow pump. So each station in the corner has a jet on it. Can't see that, and it's not running right now. Obviously, I've done 2 tap water runs. Couple minor leaks, mainly in the bulkheads, just needed to be reset. The other one was we had a union that was just too short there, so I'm going to couple it with PVC, but I'll still be able to remove the pump in the event of any type of failure. Knock on wood. I have a backup pump that I can throw right in there, but none of that's obviously glued or sealed into place because of the unions. So I'm hoping those sprouts will, do like a month of vegging in that room next door, and 10 days, maybe 2 weeks of vegging in here. I'm going to hang 9 of those 105 watt 6500K Kelvin CFLs in here that will be running 18 hours a day, and then the HPSs will kick on for 12 hours a day. That will keep the plants in vegetative state, but I won't be vegetating them for 18 hours under 12,000 watts of lights, wasting energy. It'll secret from an old friend in NorCal. So after 10 days, 2 weeks of vegging, I'll turn those CFLs off, and then these will already be on 12-12. Haven't set any up yet, but I've got, it's folded into a triangle right now, but these are square, well, sort of rectangular tomato cages designed for these rectangular buckets. I think these are 13-gallon buckets, but they only fill up to whatever level the reservoir's at. So at 70 gallons, it's right here. So these buckets are like, I don't know, 5-6 gallons. So 5-6 gallons times 24 plus the reservoir. Be a one-time thing, but we just wanted to make sure everything measured up right and got everything in place. Well, I had some help here. Jet valves and drain valves. So these are 3/4 inch inlets with the jets. Those are 3-inch drain. 3-inch? Alright, it's been a lot of work. Yeah, they're 3-inch. Drains that return to the main reservoir. But each site will have a tomato cage, but clearly, in order to get those cages in place, I'd either have to undo this whole thing and then put them in and then redo it all again. So I put unions in place well, we were short one. Over there you can see there's a union, and a union. So I'll just take, before I fill this up with the reverse osmosis water, when I'm ready to flower, veg flower, I'll just undo those unions, get this jet PVC out of the way, put all the cages in place, put all the PVC back in, and tighten those unions back up. But wanted to do a couple of tap water runs, just because inevitably there's going to be something going wrong, a leak or two here or there, which of course there was. We got 7 fans on the wall. I'm also going to have a adjustable height floor fan running down, probably just straight early on, but oscillating once the canopy's gotten higher, and so it'll be oscillating under the canopy. We've put Panda plastic. This whole entire basement's already fully insulated, but Panda plastic, so we've got an access door here with zip downs, so these will just roll up, Velcro them if you want them open all the time. This one's just hung up right now, but the same thing. I'm gonna Velcro them, roll them up, but they have zippers on each end. And then the disaster area, actually it's a lot better than it was after the construction, but this will be the drying area, so I'm going to run nylon cords back and forth all across this room. Big area. I'll have a dehumidifier in here, and obviously air circulation. I've got a 10-inch filter fan, fresh fan for the flower room. Got an 8-inch one in there. Got another 6-inch in the veg room. Just keep not so worried about smell, but just keep air clean. What's really nice is that this whole bottom floor has a floor drain in the event of again, knock on wood, flooding or anything right now, but or in the future. But right now I'm making reverse osmosis water for my tank that's in the bedroom. Reverse osmosis has a 3-gallon pressurized pump suspended here. Here's the main water feed. Water main for the house is right there, but I put a 2-way valve on here, so this is the feed for the reverse osmosis system, and then I got a separate outlet for hoses. Obviously have a nest of hoses that I'll be using. Some will be exclusively for reverse osmosis water, some will be for draining the main system, some are not shown here. A bunch of this crap's from previous projects. So some of these nutrients are still good. Chillers are still usable. That's still usable for a mother system. Didn't really point this out before, but I got a 250-gallon doorway. It'll focus. Doorway tank. It's filling right now. Got it run through the joists all the way from that other room where the RO system is and everything, so I'll be able to, right now it's just hooked to a float valve right here, which will fill this up to just below the top off 250 mark, and then I'm going to put a T into this, and then I'll punch a small hole at the bottom of this pan of plastic, and it will have a run to a float valve on the flower system reservoir. And so once everything's topped off, everything will be automatically fed, except of course you can't put a float valve on an ebb and flood table unless you want to flood your basement or house or whatever. But this thing won't use that much water, and all I have to do is I have a sump pump. One's going to be for emptying out the flower system and this system that with nutrient water, so any nutrient residue in the sump or the hose will be in those two, and then I'm going to have an exclusively reverse osmosis sump and hose, so when I want to flush out my flower system or wash out this and flush out that reservoir underneath there, I'll always have 250 gallons of reverse osmosis water ready to go. So say 7 to 10 days before I'm going to harvest the flower room, that nutrient sump will pump that right out quickly, and I'll sump all fresh RO water into there, and that'll be the flush stage, and you get the point. Anyway, at this point, rambling, I'm gonna see how I love T5s. They're powerful. I've actually, like with coral, I grow coral, so with coral I've had more shock moving coral from metal halides to T5s than the other way around. If I move coral from T5s to metal halides, it's like, hey man, you cut off our light. But so I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to see how these, I like T5s, and there's 16, 54 waters here. They should be plenty to pre-veg, and then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do some additional vegging in the flower room. But we'll see how it goes. If I'm not happy, I might put my 1,000 watt 8-inch triple XL 1,000 water in here and hang my trusty light mover across this thing. But for right now, I don't think I need to. They would both be consuming about the same amount of power The only reason I'd want to right now is to provide a little more warmth in this room, but probably regret it in the summer. Even though I was in this basement in the summer when it was 105 degrees outside, and it was 68 degrees down here, so I think everything's going to be just fine. Hopefully next report, at least some more of these will be filled up. I've always had a pretty good germination rate, but looks like some of these Skywalkers might not pop. A few have cracked, but some of these were just running out of the gate. So we'll see. It's a pheno hunt, first run. There's always something new to learn with every new setup, and until next time, Starship Enterprise out.